G'day YouTube, hi there, it's Daniel, /PunkRockDependency. Long time no see. Which is of course also the title of my final two-part video prior to this. Long time no see, did you miss me? Which is of course divided into two parts as it gravely exceeded the 10-minute limit in effect at the time. Which only begins to give you an idea of how disturbingly long ago that was. As I believe sometime circa like the later half of 2010, like maybe even mid-2010 I believe it, went up to 15 minutes, like the limit universally went up to 15 minutes, and now I believe you can even, from what brief research suggests, you can even apply for Google to authorize your account to post like virtually unlimited length, the post videos of virtually unlimited length. I cannot speak, I'm sorry. Apparently you also need a mobile for this, which could be problematic for me as I don't have one. That's not fair, Google. What about PunkRockDependency? Damn near pioneered videos in excess of 15 minutes in length. I'm kidding, of course, but it is kind of frustrating, but I guess it is what it is. I don't know. I don't want to give Google my mobile number. I don't need them texting me things. Hey, PunkRockDependency, it's Google. What are you wearing? Gross, Google, leave me alone. I'm just kidding. I hope. Seems like Google, like since taking over YouTube and having to actually censor pervs, they've kind of moved away from being like the perv engine a little bit. I don't know, like just in general you hear them like in the news like, we will not condone this or whatever more often, whereas in my childhood, they were a nightmare for like school projects. You could search any random innocent. Like I remember one time I had to search Pepsi, and all of a sudden, like there was like random. It had nothing to do with Pepsi at all. It was like the random topless lady, and like it didn't even show her. It's not like she was even drinking a Pepsi or anything. Like with no top, like yeah, gross. Traumatized my childhood, Google. Ruined my childhood. Traumatizing me. One time I had to search the Union Jack for a school, like, cause yeah, in the Pepsi case we needed the Pepsi logo. One time I had to search, like, we needed a picture of the Union Jack, and that time the nude photo was related, which almost made it worse. Oh, Google, oh, gross. But yeah, in general, I heard something about them like cleaning up their search engine a bit too, so like actually finally making the safe search safe, so that they aren't just blatantly lying to everybody. Anyways, not the point of the video. Curse you, Google. Curse you, Google. Curse you, Google. But yes, so 2010, that's over 3 years ago now since my final video, which really puts the title in perspective, seeing as I believe it was posted circa a month after like the two videos posted prior to it. So that really puts that in perspective. I'm very sorry to everybody for the wait. Like, I never actually intended to go on a hiatus or anything. Like, I wasn't on hiatus or anything. Like, there was never like a conscious decision not to make videos. It was more just short, like circa the time frame that I posted that video, everything just went to hell. Like, because, well, to begin with, that video involved, like, mentioned the fact that I'd lost my car and I'd just gotten a new one or whatever. But on top of that, so, like, there was that, and that finally cleared, but, like, work just went insane, like, well, even, like, prior to that, like, at the end of 2009, circa the start, that's part of why I couldn't, like, 2010 wasn't a good year for videos in the first place, so I was only able to post 4 or whatever because I was so busy with work and etc. But yeah, like work just went additionally crazy at that point because like they switched my original manager and another manager switched stores or whatever, so and they just assumed that all the staff would switch with would be willing to switch with them or whatever, so I had to help with the standalone store that my like original manager ended up at, and so it was further not convenient for me, and on top of that they kind of started becoming like unpleasant, like and hostile towards like certain employees. Like there's like some weird favoritism and just I don't know, like it wasn't it was like kind of unpleasant, like an unpleasant environment. Not to mention way further, like when I'd just rather work at the mall where I started, like for a reason, as it was considerably closer to me than like that one, and well, I mean, and I enjoyed it more. Like, I like not to mention, I had better hours too. Like, because like even if you ended up, yeah, like the standalones, like especially the standalones are really cheap on labor, like to a point where it was like kind of bogus, or it is kind of bogus. It doesn't really change. But anyways, but of course, my hours at my original mall location were given away because the other manager's staff, they seemed they'd switched, and most of them like were okay with the switch, so there were no hours for me at the mall. Not feeling well. So there were no hours left for me at my original location, so I had to start helping at this other location that was kind of like in the middle and like closer, and not a standalone format, but like anyways. So that was alright, but then like the management there declined and collapsed, and then like I was there for less than half a year while I was waiting for like, and because then there was eventually an opening for the mall that I got to go back, and I like literally had to serve under like three different managers, like three different managers that all went into collapse or whatever. Then like they were in the process of trying to find a fourth manager when I finally got to go back to the mall, thank goodness. So, but then once I got back to the mall, I was still, like, work hasn't really ever slowed down or whatever. Like, when I, like, once I didn't have anything else, you know, like, cause, like, I mean, like, well, when there was no school, like, there wasn't a week where I didn't end up working over 50 hours or whatever, so that was great. Like, and 50 was like low, like I mean it could be even more or whatever. And then on top of that, around the same time frame, you may remember like my well, I mean the 2010-2009 video, like the less videos. There wasn't really I wasn't really an internet exile or cyber banishment at that time. It was more just like work did not give me the time, like because I was covering shifts everywhere and just was. Well, I mean, and I was working over 50 hours then too, actually, for some of it. But yeah, like a week. But yeah, I cannot speak. So on top of all that, though, but I mean, like prior to all that, like I'd actually tried returning before that too, because like there was a bit of like an internet exile, cyber banishment, computer technical difficulties period that I had in 2009, where our then 8-year-old computer, like when it was somewhere between 7 years old and 8 years old, it lost its like the audio and sound broke down, and then it completely stopped working finally, like sometime in its 8th year. Damn, Microsoft can't make a computer that lasts more than 8 years. I'm just kidding, of course. But yeah. But yeah, so like then my family went out and got a new computer eventually. Like they reacted quick enough. Like in the meantime, we had to use the laptop, but it still created a bit of, especially because my camera got destroyed in that same time frame. So then I got a new camera. So like yeah, that's the video where I briefly show like this new Windows computer my family bought. I was hoping that we'd maybe go with the beautiful Apple iMac. However, lo and behold, Windows is cheaper, and thus got my family's vote. Yeah. But yeah, like Microsoft is of course like Microsoft Windows computers are of course much cheaper, and thus got my family's support. So well, I mean, and they were buying it, so it is their decision of course. So they decided to go with Microsoft as it was cheaper. Lo and behold, it started sketching out, not like within the first year, and then it actually completely broke down sometime circa that same time frame, with like the car crisis and work going crazy. So I was plunged into like severe internet exile and cyber banishment. But at first it wasn't as bad. Like we were occasionally allowed to use the laptops. However, at the same time, when the family computer broke down, my parents lashed out at us or whatever, and like lashed out all the children and accused, like they kind of created an inquisition where it was like, oh, it's all your fault. Nobody really knows. Like it stopped turning on is what happened. Like, I mean, first it started sketching it with software stuff, but then like it stopped turning on altogether. But like there's no real evidence that it was physical damage, and the diagnosis never really came back like with anything. But yeah, like rather that like they kind of like lashed out at us and accused us of breaking it, and like they particularly singled out me for some reason. I guess it's because like I stay up later than the rest of my family or whatever. So like, and they didn't see any evidence it was broken during the day or the evening, so they decided to scapegoat me or whatever a bit, because like, oh well, you could have done it overnight sometime when we were asleep or whatever. But like, which isn't true, and I'm not feeling well. Which is of course not true, so it's kind of frustrating and offensive to be accused like that. And they wanted us to pay for the repairs, like, which would be one thing if, like, it hadn't been brought about so hostilely. But yeah, like, especially because like I said, I've long wanted a beautiful Apple iMac, so I was like, maybe I should, if I'm gonna have to invest money anyway, maybe I should just buy my own computer, especially because, like, we didn't know what was wrong with it, right? We were accused of breaking it, but seeing as I didn't break it, I didn't know what happened to it, and I didn't really want to start investing money and with, like, complete uncertainty as to, like, how long, like, how much it would cost to be fixed, how long it would last, or whatever. And I perhaps made the right call, because like some of my other siblings invested a bit or whatever, and they got it repaired, and then I wasn't really allowed to use it. If I had a paper, like, if I needed to print something important or whatever for school or etc., like, then I was still allowed on it, but, like, in general, like, say if I had something like that or whatever, I was allowed to use it, but in general, like, they tried to keep me off. However, from those brief few times I used it, like, you could already see that it was still sketching out a bit, and then it actually did eventually end up not, like, stopping working all over again, and my parents paid to repair it that time because, I don't know. Well, at first I had let it sit or whatever, and they accused everybody again. They didn't accuse me this time, as I didn't, actually, they'd kind of tried, but I was like, well, I'm not allowed to use it, like, I didn't use it. But yeah, so yeah, it was the beginning of a very dark, very rough 3 years for me. So yeah, I was without computer access in that sense. Like, I could occasionally use the work laptops, but even, like, because sometimes, ironically, despite us not being allowed to use the computer, they'd sometimes let us use the work laptops. But that privilege got more and more seldom. They'd take them out, like, for a while they stopped bringing them back from work altogether. But then, like, or they'd make sure to take them up to their room and not let anybody use them or at night or whatever. So yeah, like, when I originally started trying to film this video, I was trying to get it through on one of the laptops or whatever. Yeah, we're perhaps getting ahead of ourselves. So as usual, like, as you can see, this video is as per tradition on my channel, this video is of course dedicated to my birthday, January 2nd. Yeah, like, unfortunately, due to the long exile banishment that I've endured, so nothing was posted for 2011 nor 2012, and then of course this is the first video of 2013, thus it's dedicated to that birthday as well. But yeah, so we'll start with 2011, of course, as we'll go chrono. So 2011 was, can't speak. It was pretty, like, it was not too different from 2012. I once again had to celebrate by working. Work didn't really know it was my birthday, and actually the general manager for the district would often send out these calendars, and, like, a lot of the staff's birthdays would be listed on there and stuff. Like, among other things, like, you know, if they're hired, like, the year anniversaries of their hire dates too or whatever. But yeah, he just put a big X on January 2nd, I guess, because it was one of his days off, and he didn't write my birthday, and I was like, oh. But then when I mentioned something, I made a joke about it when I came into work on January 2nd, and this man was like, oh, I don't know, it's your birthday. So, like, they actually disappeared, vanished, snuck off, and they brought back a cake, which was nice of them. Which wasn't chocolate, it's more like a light cake. Although apparently he made a joke about, like, how the only chocolate cakes apparently, like, had tons of, like, flower designs all over them and stuff, and, like, it's like, what could have got you one of those? And he'd always make jokes like that. But then apparently on top of that too, the staff members that were working that day couldn't really eat much chocolate, so worked out. It was really nice of them. Then after that, so after working all day, after working all day, like, I went home, and my family did some gifts and stuff. And, like, another night I went out with some friends for a bit, but it was a long day, not to mention a Sunday, thus, like, it was harder to get something to do much. Like, in this part of Canada, there's not much to do on Sunday nights. Everything has to close early. Well, I mean, a lot of things have to close earlier, and then some things don't open at all. But yeah, but it was still nice. Like, and my family sometimes buys these Oreo baking crumbs or whatever, like, it's like crushed Oreos or whatever, and, like, in this part of Canada at any rate, and I think for most of it, like, they have, like, a picture of a few, like, they use them to make things like drumstick cakes and cannot speak. And like one time we had a chocolate pudding cream pie with like Oreo crust, which is pretty cool. But anyways, yeah, like it's essentially to make crusts or whatever, and like they have this picture in the back of like this like astoundingly awesome looking cheesecake. It's like it looks extraordinary. It's got like like it's like got the Oreo crust with cheesecake center and Oreos submerged in the cheesecake center, and then like melted chocolate on top, and then it can be garnished with more Oreos. It's pretty phenomenal. It looks pretty phenomenal. So like I was like admiring it one day, and my mother like and then my mother said, "Oh, maybe we're gonna make it for your birthday," and I was like, "Yes, please." So they did. That was nice. It's delicious, delightfully delicious, in fact, divine, out of this world. But yeah, so that was 2011. So then 2011 was a rough year too. Like 2010 was actually, it was rough in the sense that I was like exiled from the internet or whatever. So like and it made it difficult to keep in touch with people or whatever and stuff. Well, and like I couldn't maintain my channel at all. But however, like I kept busy. Like I saw lots of I still managed to see a decent amount of friends and stuff. Like I mean like, and like I was busy with work, but work wasn't really so much bad at that point. It started to get worse. So oh, and that's another problem. So 2011, we went to like circa the start of 2011. My family, we went to America briefly for a weekend or whatever. Oh no, actually, yeah, that's another problem. So yeah, circa the start of 2011, I had a bottle of soda in my backpack, as well as my camera and a binder with like work papers and Christmas cards and etc. And so I'm walking along or whatever, and the bottle of soda like explodes somehow, and it like fries my camera and my binder with all these nice Christmas cards I was given, and like my work papers, like all like now like a bunch of random soda smudges, and my camera just fried, so it was super frustrating. So then, yeah, I was once again without a camera, which made YouTube even less likely, right? So without a camera, I well, like, and then on top of that, I had a bunch of like, oh, it was upsetting, but yeah. So I was without a camera, which just made it even more difficult, which made it even more difficult. I eventually. Ironically, then later on, like in my excuses video, I have like an element shit with like a kind of like specter stream, like smoke or ghost trail or whatever, like on the logo or whatever, and it's really nice or whatever, and it was like black. I believe it was featured in excuses. Anyways, I always lock my car because like. While I work in a nicer neighborhood, my family lives like it was easy to drive to, so when I was driving it wasn't so bad. But yeah, like sometime in 2011 I had my car parked in our driveway, like the lights were on, the house was like, and I went inside for I think 2 hours, and like somehow my car didn't lock. Like the one time it didn't lock, I come out after about 2 hours, like it was later at night, like, but still like 2 hours, bright house, like, and I left again, so like it's not even like I was like asleep for those 2 hours or whatever, so it's pretty like risky. But somebody broke into my car and stole that backpack along with that shirt. Like fortunately that was like I wore that shirt to work, and then I changed, and then I didn't change back, so that was in my backpack by itself. Fortunately my binder and stuff was removed. The binder with all my papers and stuff was removed at that point, so it actually only had the shirt, fortunately. So they broke in my car, and I actually had a lot of stuff in my car. So they stole my backpack, and I had bought like well, as you know, at one point I'd been considering I cannot speak. At one point I'd been well, not that I've really stopped, but like prior to vanishing, I'd considered coloring my hair red or whatever, for like just to change it up, because work was getting like I used to have a manager that would like get on my case about haircuts all the time. Like, so I figured, like, oh, next time I cut, maybe I'll do something more exciting, like, do something different. I ended up, like, I have actually cut it one time since I left, seeing as my haircuts are such a riveting topic that holds us all together. It's funny though, like, my haircut videos seem to get, like, some of the most views, which I appreciate. But yeah, like, so I did cut it one more time, and then, like, my hair has been getting, as you can see, it's gotten a bit, it's kind of darker, like, I think work is slowly killing me. At first, actually, that year was because I was driving around spending so much time at work that I didn't really get much, like, natural sun, so I figured maybe that was part of it. But yeah, like, it was darker than usual, so I lightened it up or whatever, like, I might be able to show pictures eventually, but yeah, like, so I cut it one last time, especially because, like, yeah, it was just like easier at the time, like, with, like, work still kind of, like, being like, you should cut your hair or whatever, like, they've since kind of, well, like, the one manager, like, still does, but, like, I don't work directly with them as much anymore, so, like, they don't force me to. And well, that's another thing too. I decided, like, they grew back out, and I decided to, like, wait till I could actually post a video so you guys could see the hair, seeing as you're some of the more supportive people. Well, not to mention I still like it, and it's free to keep it this way, right? I don't need to pay for haircuts. But yeah, anyways, so, like, I had, like, this special color protect shampoo that I found on sale or whatever that I'd bought. So that, out of all, like, I had a bunch of CDs and I think even some money, like, not in plain view, but, like, I think I'd accidentally left it under the CDs and stuff, amongst other things. Like, my binder was in the car, and, like, and etc. And yeah, they grabbed my backpack and they grabbed the shampoo and apparently booked it. So frustrating. But that was upsetting too. So yeah, there went my backpack. That's yeah, like, also in 2011, my I cannot see, like, you know, the beanie I wore in my last video or whatever, like the skull beanie, which is upsetting because it looks so nice with my longer hair. But anyways, that was also stolen. Or actually no, I shouldn't say that was stolen. It went missing. Like, it went missing prior. Actually, that went missing in 2010. So that was prior to my car vanished. Like, to the car. Like, or not my car vanished. But that was prior to my car getting cased. But anyways, so 2011 only got worse than that. Yeah. So my backpack was stolen. Yeah, that's part of why I can't wear the beanie anymore. But so upsetting. But yeah, so my backpack got stolen. We moved forward. That was, like, sometime in the spring. Then the first day of summer, like, I actually, like, I one of the work laptops is out, and I used the family camera. Like, I just wanted to post an update video. It didn't turn out very well. Like, I actually did get it done, but part of the problem was, like, the only thing accessible was the family camera, and I had a Sony memory stick, and the family camera was not compatible with it, so I couldn't even use my memory stick for it, which led to, like, I had to use the card that was on there, and it was full of pictures, and I was obviously not going to clear pictures out to, like, film the video, because, like, it's not directly my camera or whatever. And my family's not very supportive of, like, YouTube, which made the filming these videos all the more difficult. I pretty much had to do them overnight because they wouldn't really cooperate with me too much about, like, using the laptops for YouTube, and they did, like, or for filming for that matter, and the house is, like, noisy all day long usually, so, like, yeah, I was, like, really stuck. I pretty much had to try, like, and that was the other thing too, I became very perfectionist about filming these videos. Not this one, but after this, so I guess I might as well anyways, so, like, I could only film, like, 30 to 45 second-ish intervals or whatever, and upload. And then on top of that, Google wrenched me, because that's when they, like, merged the accounts. You know, they forced you to get, like, merge your account into Gmail somehow, or not, like, either create a Gmail account to merge your YouTube account to, that, Gmail authorized another email address or whatever. So I had to create, like, I even did create the account that night, but, like, then, like, they woke up early and I had to, and then, like, at that point I reviewed the video and I was like, this is not worth uploading. Maybe I should have, in hindsight, that way I could have had a video out for 2011, but yeah, so that was the first day of summer in 2011, and then that very day I go to work, and my manager was terminated, which led to me working even more than before or whatever, like, all over the map. And then so it was like, and it was crazy, like, some of the decisions they made, like, I understand that this, like, but, like, some of the decisions after that, like, just, like, and it was stressful. because they brought back this one person that like had kind of authority problems, so that made working stressful, and then like was busy, like, and I had to cover shifts at other stores because the authority person, problem person, like I was technically like I was technically initially above them, but like they were like yeah, like they lashed out at pretty much everybody that had authority over them, and like actually somehow like convinced like the general manager to like move them up a bit. And it wasn't even just me, it was like other people too, like they like managed to like climb the rank or whatever. So then like, which is frustrating, like that, like, yeah, my job's not necessarily the best for HR all the time. But yeah, so like they kind of like tried to like aggressively bully people and then like complain about, like, anyways, long story short, like I ended up having to work all over the map even more than usual, and then like I was stressed out, like, and stuff, and yeah, it was horrible. So then we advanced now we advanced to like, I can't speak. So now we advanced to like, we're in the summer of 2011, and I can't speak. So we're in the summer of 2011, and like, yeah, just keeps getting better. There's my car gets in a collision, gets written off, and then I'm pretty much forced to take a hiatus because the insurance is all like controlled by the government. So like so like it's not just a ministry controlling your license, but controlling everything. Seeing as that was the second time I had a vehicle written off, unfortunately, they're like, that's enough of that motorized vehicular mischief. And yeah, my license was like guaranteed to be suspended, so I like kind of surrendered it in for a while. Fortunately I had my board or whatever, like even like that first day of my car, like even the first day when it got written off, I got the board like all over the, like, and I was on the way to work, so that like screwed everything up. So then I was still working, like, and I had a board to work, and like I said, like I don't, unfortunately, it's like not like, because like we live in this cars are crucial culture, like this, like the city that I'm in or whatever, like it's not the best for, there's not really like much for transit, like there's buses or whatever. And to be honest, like in my particular area, for whatever reason, like the bus ride is like, the walk is like about an hour and a half or whatever, like the drive is about 10-15 minutes or whatever. And I can do like on a board, fortunately, like on my board I could actually like do it in just over 30 minutes, like in between 30-40 minutes. So that was not so bad, right? But like the bus or whatever often takes like an hour, like almost like as long as it takes to walk. So like I don't even bother with the bus or whatever, because like why pay to like sit in a bus that is notoriously smelly with a bunch of angry looking people. Because sometimes at night the bus would roll by me, and like it's like I think I'm safer out here. And I don't even want to mean that in a mean way. It's kind of how you feel. But yeah, so yeah, 2011 was horrible, essentially. So yeah, like I lost my vehicle, and so then I was able to board or whatever. That was, of course, like I live in Canada, right? So that's like a limited window. It's not like I can board all year long, but unfortunately prior to that, like as I was getting into autumn, my boards lost a wheel. So then I like which wouldn't have been the end of the world, like, because like I didn't lose the wheel, like in like where'd the wheel go, but like it fell off or whatever, so I had to like stop boarding for a few days. But then like a friend from like in the mall that like also worked in the mall, like was a big board, like loved boarding and skating, like and or but anyways, like so like they actually carried extra balls. I'm like, here, you gonna bolt, like, here, this should fix it. And then I went to the skate shop where I bought it, and they were like, oh yeah, like, yeah, I mean, even if the truck's like screwed up, we can recut it for you, whatever. So I go home to like get the board, and like kind of left it in the garage. And our garage is not like by any means spotless. My board was like in the corner, like it wasn't like left out where the cars are supposed to park or anything. It was in the corner. My father is like, missing a wheel, what is this rubbish? And he apparently just threw my board out, and he didn't feel bad about it. So you shouldn't leave it in my garage or whatever. And it's like, but like, and like I guess he did ask me to move it the one time, and I forgot because I had to run to work. And but still, like I don't really think that's like a nice way to you know, like throwing it out seems like a bit of an overstep. Like if somebody left something where I didn't want them to, I would never just throw it out on them, no matter what it was. Especially not something like as important to me as like the board was at that point, because it was like my trans. That's my father's been very anti-supportive, and he thinks it's like it's all my fault. I lost my license, and it's stupid. And so yeah, he's not supportive of my YouTube endeavors, not supportive of that, not particularly supportive of my job in general. But like which has made it's kind of like deteriorated. But anyways, he felt like, and it's like. But yeah, like, as I was saying, like, there's all sorts of things in, like, the garage. Like, we keep, like, the Christmas tree there or whatever, like, it's there all year long aside from, like, December and part of January. Hopefully a branch doesn't break off of this. Where'd the branch go? In the garbage. So yeah, like, he didn't, no apology whatsoever. He's like, you shouldn't have left it in my way type thing or whatever. And I guess, like, it's his house, but, like, it was upsetting, and I haven't really told anybody the story where, like, they overwhelmingly take his side. Like, yes, it's his house, but it's still, like, jerk move. So yeah, like, so then I was out bored, like, this was, like, sometime circa September, yeah. So, like, I mean, it was a limited window anyways, because I live in Canada, so, like, the snow is sometimes right around the corner at that point. It can snow in September, and often, like, by Halloween, you wouldn't be able to board anyway. So then, like, work, like, they, like, struck a deal with me. They're like, hey, well, we need help with a standalone store or whatever, and you live far away, so we'll pick you up every day or whatever, like, and, then you can cover the, like, because, like, they weren't the most convenient shifts, so that went alright for a while or whatever. Like, I got a ride to work every day, like, that was nice, whatever. It wasn't location I wanted to, but then there was, like, that power struggle going on there anyway, so it was maybe alright to be away from that for a while. Power struggle ended up ending. They started dropping the ball and giving me rides. Like, some days they'd forget, and then they'd be like, why? Like, and I'd call them, are you coming? And they'd be like, no, like, just run. So that was much, yeah, like, I forgot, like, yeah, like, it was weird. So, yeah. So I by the end of the year, I was back in the mall again. But just in time for another Christmas. So, yeah, like, so then we go through January, it's my birthday, once again celebrated working. That time it fell on Monday, so I worked like over 12 hours that day. Not as lucrative as it sounds. They'd pay out what you worked, but they'd make sure not to pay you a penny of actual overtime, like, because, like, by law in this part of the country, the part of the nation, you are supposed to earn time and a half once you start exceeding 8 hours a day / 40 hours a week, like, and there's, like, corporate companies try and loophole it or whatever and stuff, but then like ours is really bad. Like, they'd just, like, be like, how about we let you work a little bit more and we'll pay you for it, but we won't pay you what we're supposed to. We'll just pay you flat rate. And it's like so yeah. And you might be thinking at this point, why do you work there? Like, I don't mind the job, and like, it's been getting worse and worse. Whatever. Like, for the longest time, like there are a lot of nice people that work there. Like, I don't know, it's never a dull moment. But on top of that, whenever I do go and apply for something else in the retail sector, well, which is like essentially what I'm qualified for right now, right? As I haven't done anything post-secondary. Yeah, and I don't really like, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of like, I don't really believe in university necessarily. Like, I don't know, paying thousands of dollars, like, especially as a lot of people go on a whim, right? So, like, there's a lot of money sucked into there, like, for people, like, that don't even end up using it. And stuff. And that's the thing, right? Like, there's nothing I feel super strongly about right now, so I haven't decided which way to go yet. Thus, like, I haven't done it, so yeah. Long story short, bottom line, I'm kind of stuck in retail right now, which I don't mind really, but, like, still. So yeah, my birthday was celebrated by working all day. I got the cake again, the same delightfully divine, out of this world Oreo cheesecake, which is fantastic. And then yeah, so like some of our like family friend neighbors, like, they stopped over after, like, this was at 11 at night, so it wasn't it was what it was, but yeah. And that was my ultimate birthday, and in reference to the title. The other one, January 2nd, 2011 being the penultimate, in the literal meanings of the word, not like it was like better than all the other birthdays, but ultimate is in like the final, supposedly, according to the mass media has mistaken or misinterpreted Meso-Mayan Armageddon prediction, Armageddon-esque apocalypse prediction. I cannot speak. or whatever for the end of the year, which is super frustrating because in 2012, like, I was busy with work all year long, and I had to walk on top of that, like, in the cold a lot of the times, still in internet exile, and the laptop was actually, like, and that's the thing too, after, like, especially after my vehicle, just, like, after I lost my car or whatever, I started having a bit of extra free time or whatever, because, like, of the getting driven to work, and some of the shifts are shorter because that was part of, like, the deal. It's like, well, they aren't the best shifts, but we'll drive you to them, and, like, it's only a little bit further away type thing. So, but yeah, like, but, like, the laptops were, like, never out at that point or whatever. So that was kind of frustrating because, like, I tried to, like, break through a few times, like, ironically, September 11th, 2011, like, the 10-year anniversary of 9/11 was actually one of the closest I got to, like, uploading a video. Like, I was able to film a bit and, like, upload it to the thing. And I actually even, like, at that point I was contemplating, since I had to walk so long every day, I was contemplating launching a second, I was launching yet another channel, because I guess I've technically got two up right, like, another two up right now for my kind of defunct, Ray William Johnson inspired word, like, you know, like, he, like, cause when I was on the ground floor of Ray William Johnson. He was, like, at, like, he wasn't even quite at 2,000 subscribers when I started, like, watching him, and he was doing the Capitol Hill Gangster format. I thought that was really cool, so I kind of tried to do my own my own news, current events style vlog / show or whatever. It's a lot of work and editing, and, like, it wasn't time I had with work, so it didn't end up turning out that great. So, like, and those will be, like, those I've kind of announced, like, the cancellation of my last video. I want to post something to them in case, like, there is any, like, vague objection or whatever. That, and, like, I'm leaving up because I am, like, I haven't even had time. Now I have to create Gmail accounts if I want to go in there and shut them down or whatever, but, like, or close them or whatever, like, so, like, right now they're sitting, but, like, I don't really know if, I think I'm going to upload one more video each thanking the viewers or whatever, and I want Chance Fan Official to make it up to 1,000 views. Just an arbitrary, like, at least I made that, at least I got that many. But PunkRockDependency is already there, but anyways, not really the focus point, but anyways, so yeah, like, September 2011 is the closest I got, and I'd been contemplating, also inspired by William Johnson's Breaking NYC vlog, which is big at that point. I like that idea, and I had to walk so much, so I'd contemplated starting a vlog like that or whatever. The lack of computer, especially because the computers were never, like, at the time in September 2011, like, right before, like, I started, like, having, like, a lot of, like, or having, like, a bit of extra free time or whatever with the rides and stuff, and, like, the weird, like, the different shifts, and, like, they actually kind of toned down the, like, well, not for long, like, don't worry, like, it wasn't like I was stuck, with all this free time and no video to film for too long, but yeah, like, there was, like, a brief window, and yeah, like, but yeah, like, and I'd contemplated doing that video, but, like, I never, like, had the computer access to that point, and on top of that, like, yeah, I was just stressed out, like, half the time I had to run to work or whatever, but yeah, like, I thought of, like, you know, I could film, like, vlogs, on, like, while walking to work or whatever, kind of, like, I don't know, though, like, it always blew my mind, like, it's always, like, crazy to watch people do these vlogs, and, like, well, not crazy, like, you can see how they can eventually, and I guess maybe it's different in New York, too, because a lot of people are walking down the street, like, talking to themselves, and, well, not to themselves, but, you know, either on a device or whatever, and I think, like, the flip cam I think he was using a flip cam, which is probably a bit more discreet than what I would have had to have done. At that point, I had just gotten a new camera, too, like, yeah, but yeah, so, but anyways, jumping to, but anyways, so yeah, like, and so I even set up that, yeah, so I got really close that night, but once again, they woke up a bit too soon, and I didn't get all the material I needed, and I kept trying to refilm, but then, like, yeah, like, the opportunities did not come up anymore, so, and, like, and that's the problem with this video, right, like, partly, like, I just got so perfectionist about the whole thing. Part of the problem was I was working so much, but, like, on top of that, I just got so perfectionist about the whole thing, like, that, like, it was just extra difficult, like, because often, like, I got a certain, like, wardrobe I wanted to wear and I wanted to be clean, so often, like, it's so, like, and that's the other thing too, my parents try like are very like touchy about their washing machines. So some like I'd try and like wash like what I needed to, especially because like, well, that's another thing too. Like in this time frame in 2011, my room was under construction, so I couldn't even film then. Then like near the so like it's been crazy. But yeah, like because I as you can see, I got a bit like it was been expanded a little bit, which is really nice. But yeah, like which is one nice thing. Like my father did that or whatever, because like we were having disputes about he's like, oh, your room's too messy. It's like, oh, it's so small that Harry Potter would be like Harry Potter like pre like going to Hogwarts. He'd feel claustrophobic in there. He slept in a closet for a while. Like, you know, it was like that small or whatever. It was like small enough to make Harry Potter feel claustrophobic or whatever. It was kind of like that closet, in fact, or whatever. It's like, you know, it was like enough room for my bed and like this weird, like this dresser and like a tiny bit of walking space. There was like, it was very small. Like, and I had a bunch of stuff and I bought some. So yeah, it was not good night. So he did expand it or whatever, but that I couldn't really film then or whatever. When we went on a family trip that summer, but anyways, yeah, like it was. So then, like in 2011, I finally had the new room and I had a chance to try and film that video, but didn't really work out. I didn't really like want for it to be on the anniversary. Like, and like it's not like, oh, I was like, yeah, like I was kind of like, it's not a good date. But like but yeah, like that was interesting too, right? Because like it was like the 10-year anniversary and it was on a Sunday, so it gave everybody lots of time to reflect about it. So that was kind of nice. But yeah, like during that night leading in, like September 10th, going into like 9/11's morning or whatever, I was trying to. That was like the closest I ever came or whatever prior to, like, because every other time, like, I've started. That's the thing, because after that, like, at that point, it was like already a complicated video, but after that, like, I got very perfectionist about it, like. Well, I mean, like, so, like, I mean, some nights, like, either didn't have something, so I couldn't really bother. Well, and even then, like, it's like a tight window or whatever, like. Because, like, by the time my family goes to bed or whatever, like, I have to film overnight so that there's no, like, house sounds or whatever. Especially, like, and not to mention, it makes you feel self-conscious if, like, you hear them outside talking, which might make it into your video, but on top of that, they hear you talking. And, like, my family has no real respect for, like, vloggers. Like, oh, my parents don't really understand a lot of internet things, so, like, they think the whole YouTube thing is stupid. They think that for the longest time they thought that Facebook was like networking with strangers, which I mean it can be, but like hypothetically you're supposed to add people you know. So like they thought that like Facebook was just a bunch of strangers and like whatever, like I mean like can be, like there's obviously tons of strangers on Facebook, but you know what I mean, like that's not really the point of the website per se. So yeah, well, I mean, in YouTube, like, it is, like, you're broadcasting out, so, like, they have, like, no real respect or desire to cooperate with my YouTube aspirations, so in between the surrounds, like, it makes it hard to focus and hard to film, and just, yeah, so that wasn't really an option. But, yeah, moving, forward. But yeah, so like it just, so I'm very sorry. Like to the 111 that are still waiting, I appreciate it so much. It's amazing of you, but like, I never intended it for it to be this long or whatever. I was like really like my hands were tied a lot of the times, because like, I remember one time, like especially because like I'd often be exhausted overnight, so I'd try and film and I'd almost get there or whatever. Like I'd make sure I get all my stuff like out of the wash or whatever, like have to be super quiet. I'd get all ready to film, and I'll you know, if you came back from work, you'd try and have a shower to look nice, like for look nice for YouTube, and which is another thing. Like my parents are very like I pretty much have to film overnight because like there's no support for it during the day, but at the same time, they're kind of hostile to like you can't wake them up, well, it was just understandable, I guess. But like mine more so like, because I know other people like coworkers that like they'll go home and shower or whatever and their parents don't care, but mine really do. But yeah, so that's that. But anyways, and then like the next time, like so 2012 is insane. I was back to walking at that point because like the manager of that store switched stores, so they didn't need me to like. Oh, I mean, on top of that, I went back to the malls, which was a bit closer and stuff. And it wasn't like they kept forgetting, like, so like it kind of like the whole like driving deal kind of fell through anyway. But yeah, so Then the next closest was like 2000 or December. The supposed perhaps apocalypse. The perhopocalypse. I can't speak. Anyways, the Mayan perhapocalypse, of course, like Friday, December 21st, 2012. I actually had like the Thursday leading into that day off. In a bizarre, like, rare series of events, I somehow actually had the Thursday off for once, which was fairly unusual back then. Like, any day off was unusual. So I worked the perhapocalypse. Yeah. People were making jokes about what if we walked out of the mall and like one guy was like, yeah, it got quiet. I was like, yeah, what if we walked out of the another person who works in the mall with me was like, yeah, it got really quiet tonight. And I was like, yeah, what if we just walk outside and it's a blazing inferno. Fun times. Anyways, so yeah. Apparently we all survived. Apparently it was either the mass media did indeed misinterpret the Mayan long count, or like the meaning of the Mayan long count, that or the Mayans messed up, I guess one could argue, although a lot of people have argued that they didn't actually believe it was ever going to be the Mayan Armageddon. It was just the calendar. It was supposed to be like the start of the next cycle. I guess kind of, like similar to Y2K, except we thought that Y2K was like, it was supposed to be a machine thing more than anything, like, it was, it was, I don't know how long I'm having a mind blank on how long the long count is. It's kind of the equivalent to like the changing of a millennium, not necessarily in years, but same idea, right? Like 1999 became year 2. That was the end of a millennium, so we started the next one. We didn't make a long count, we just count upwards fairly simply. Anyways, this not super important, but anyways, so yeah, like that was like one of the closest I came, actually, since like a lot of like the trouble, of course, like as I may have mentioned, I'm having a mind blank on what I have and haven't said at times in this video because I've been shooting so much. Like, you can actually hear somebody woke up or whatever. That's why I had to cut the shot and stuff. Like, you could hear voices. Don't worry, that wasn't like actually the Mayans. Like, we'll get you next time, humans. But it was weird. It was like right around when I mentioned the Mayans, you could hear like stomping around and stuff. But anyways, so yeah. I cannot speak. So yeah, like that was like one of the closest I'd came since like oh my goodness. That was like actually like one of the closest I'd come to successfully upload. Like I was all ready to shoot. I started shooting, but like just like it was so much at that point. Like, I don't know, I mean, it's only gone worse since 2013 started, but like by the end of 2012 there was so much stuff to cover in this video and I'm gone so perfectionist about it. So first I had to get home, like, well, I think I still did do something that, like, I still ended up doing something that night, like, so yeah, I got home, I had to have a shower to get ready, make sure all my stuff was, make sure my proper wardrobe was clean. I think I actually had to wash some stuff that I wanted to wear in the video, and like, so I start shooting and it's already like a tight window at that point, and I just like, it's so much like, it was to the point where I barely knew how to start. So I tried, but like I didn't really get any like solid footage on the matter, and like I think they like, and then people woke up early too, so I just completely ran out of time. So that would have been super disappointing if we actually had all been annihilated and obliterated and annihilated in like an Armageddon-esque apocalypse. However, fortunately, we didn't. That or we survived it. Yay! Congrats, everybody. So yeah, it's just like it would have. Yeah, that would have been so disappointing. It would have been like a perpetual failure. Granted, I guess it would have been kind of funny just to be like, "Hey YouTube, I'm back. Look, I'm still alive. I'm not dead. Here's a video of my the 2 birthdays I've missed." And then the world's like, yeah, that would have been funny, right? I guess in the grand scheme of, still would have given me peace of mind. In the grand scheme of things, it might have been a small victory. Still would have given me peace of mind, though. But yeah, I'm exhausted and kind of rambling right now. But yeah, so So yeah, unfortunately I was not successful in that, because I was like so like at this point it's like in between 9 and 10 months too late, or too past the Armageddon. So yeah, looks like we're going to survive. Looks like we're going to survive 2012, and we made 2013. That said, 2013 has been a brutal year thus far. There was no Armageddon or whatever, so it's not that not as difficult as it could be, but it's been a rough, brutal year for myself. And I guess for a lot of things, like there's been a rough year in the media. Not the media makes everything miserable though, so yeah. But yeah, like all this internet, yeah, it's been a rough year, and it's been hard shooting, and well, I mean, like, yeah, it's just been so disappointing for all that work on this video, like all those 2 years of attempted, like all that point is 2 years. It's almost 3 years, or it is 3 years now, I guess. Yeah, it like of production, of attempted production, just to like have not resulted in anything. So it's nice that we survived into it. It's been, yeah, for the ultimate, or for the beyond birthday in 2013, yeah. The year that's a gift to us from the ancient minds. That birthday was very similar. 2012, I worked like beyond a 12-hour day, I'm pretty sure, and then like we had the same Divine to Die For, but not actually, in an Armageddon-esque apocalypse. Oreo cheesecake again, with my family. Like, it was pretty late at night, so some of them were already asleep, but it was nice. And then later on, some of the neighbor friends came over another night, because it was too late for them to come over that night. And then after that, like, I didn't get to spend as much. I was like super busy throughout that whole like almost more so than the years prior. Oh, it made it worse not having a vehicle as well, but yeah. So I didn't get to spend as much time with friends as one might have hoped, but yeah, it was an alright birthday, but it's been like a rough year. On top of all this, you may notice that I'm not wearing, like, I kind of, you may notice I'm not wearing that element sweater that almost became like, or you're not wearing any of my signature sweaters today. Unfortunately, it's been a rough years for that too. Beautiful element sweater, well, like, it lasted a long time, but yeah, the zipper blew out. Like, first it started trying to break off or whatever, like I managed to save the piece, but it wasn't like staying on very well. But on top of that, then it just split, like the zipper itself, like it won't zip up anymore. Like you can pull it up, but like it'll just split right away, so that's super disappointing. It was a nice sweater, like, and it lasted a long time, but yeah, like, so that's why I can't wear that anymore. My other Firefly, like, kind of almost like a fleece, like, it's like, well, I guess it's a bit of sweater too, it's zip up as well, but it, okay. My Firefly, like, fleecy, like, my Firefly sweater that's almost kind of like a fleece, same thing, like, well, not exactly the same thing, but yeah, like the zipper broke on this one too, unfortunately, which is super frustrating. It was nice to wear too, yeah. It's nice, yeah, like in this case, the zipper didn't really try and snap off, because it's a more industrial type one, but like, yeah, like it won't zip up properly anymore. Same thing with my nice Firefly sweater from YouTube Depression, which is depressing. Not the video so much as the fact that the sweater doesn't work the sweater doesn't work anymore, because it was really nice. The zipper kind of, same thing, it kind of snapped and split. I don't know why I have such horrible fortune with zippers, apparently. I don't know why I have such horrible fortune with zippers. I mentioned my beanie, of course, not missing. My beautiful Affliction sweater also had, like, it had a nice skull zipper that, like, snapped off, and, like I said, like, once again, I didn't lose the piece, but, like, it won't attach again properly, and now the zipper won't zip up properly at all. But yeah, like, you may remember it. I definitely wore it in at least one video where I portrayed Nathaniel, like, song dissection, I believe, for sure. But yeah, like, it's... Which is kind of ironic, I guess, seeing as like it's like you might be thinking like Daniels can't beat the hell out of anyone. Why does he have enough like like such a UFC associated brand? But like I just bought it in America one time because I thought it was like a really nice sweater, and I didn't really like UFC wasn't as big as it is now back then, so I didn't necessarily realize the association at the time. I still liked like, but yeah, like because it's kind of ironic, seeing as Nathaniel's like emo subculture parody wearing UFC MMA style clothes. Like mixed martial art, yeah. But yeah, it's like I seem to have a steel / metal hex on my. Seems like it seems like I seem to have a steel / metal hex on my clothing. Well, like the chain snapped, and even my backpack before was stolen. The zippers would, I mean, like the zipper handles would try and like. Like they don't really snap off, but like, 'cause, you know, they weren't broken, but like they'd fall off. It was super annoying. I love Element, but for some reason their backpacks, well, I mean, that backpack zippers are so frustrating. The sweater I can kind of understand because it endured a long time, but yeah. It's so stressful and depressing there. So I went on a shopping spree! Actually, multiple shopping sprees! And you may be thinking that's like a ridiculous amount of bags, but like don't worry, like, well, I mean, like I said, some of them are just missing in 2010, like, and just because of like with my room being under construction, like right at, like, cause like I bought them and then like I was busy with work or whatever, so I just have kept a lot of my stuff like that I've got like gone on good deals and stuff, and that's like nice clothes out of it, like, which will definitely come in handy eventually, but like seeing as I work so much and I wear a uniform, I haven't really like unfortunately I haven't had a chance to wear as much of it as I would like or whatever, especially because like as long as I'm like, well, I'm living here or whatever, like I don't know, because like one of the other shirts I bought went missing, and then like it turned out that my mother like was like thought it was like she could give it, like she didn't even know it was mine, like, and she didn't, like, yeah, but like anyways, like it went missing for a long, so like in general it seems to almost be safer like to keep your valuables you don't need out in like in these bags or whatever. So I mean, and when my room was under construction or whatever, like it was nice in the end, right? Like I got a bigger room, but like for like I had to keep them like in there because like I didn't want them to get mixed up with other stuff, and so I had to stay in the bags then, and yeah. And then yeah, just like because like I needed a new sweater, so voila. Kind of created an inadequate color contrast now, but yeah. So I got this nice blue one or whatever, and I started wearing it or whatever, but like, right away because I needed something to replace all the other ones that were breaking. And then I got a few more for gifts or whatever, so that worked out well with my wardrobe. Like, cause I'm like, but yeah, like, well, and don't worry, like, it's not all from like. I had a lot of, as you can see, I had a lot of clothing, I had a lot of bags there or whatever. It's like not all of it's like for me either. Like some of them I bought just more recently, and I thought it'd be funny to include them. But yeah, like they're like actually gifts for other people, so like friends I haven't been able to see just yet. But yeah, like in general, it's just been safer to keep them in the bags, it feels like, because like yeah, like I got good deals on them, and like they're all stuff I like and I want to wear, but like especially like because like while I work in retail, right, but at the same time I work in like the food sector of retail, so it's safer not to wear nice clothes there, like, because like if like they can, you don't want them necessarily to smell like work, and then like you don't want them to get ruined if you have to wear it, like, and you're wearing a uniform, so it's not like you like, so I mean, yeah, sure, you can wear something under, but it's not like you're gonna wear a brand new shirt under your uniform very often. So yeah, like I just mostly same with the CDs or whatever, like they're just because I don't steal music or I don't pirate music, so and I like to support artists that I like, so the HMV bag is a bunch of CDs that I just like. I bought it before my car was lost or whatever. I bought it before my car was like obliterated. And now that my car's obliterated, I don't really have anywhere like to play it. Like, not to mention CDs are another thing. Like if you keep them in the bag, they're pretty safe. Whereas if you start like jewel case, they're so fragile. So yeah, it might look kind of silly, but yeah, like I've just kept a lot of it like in the bags or whatever because it's been safe. Like, cause like I got the new room or whatever, and I started trying to organize that over. But that's another thing too. My parents kind of like are, you know, it's their house, so I guess they can. But like they go through your room, so like sometimes I just like they go through random stuff. So like sometimes I just like buy the bag, keep it in the corner, so they leave it alone or whatever, and don't like try and do whatever, like, you know what I mean. Seems to keep them fairly safe. Also, I got 2 new boards. I bought this nice pretty Element koi board here. Two new boards. I bought this nice Element koi board here, like just like the last year or whatever, like right before, like it was great. I got a good deal on it and saved money, and I was like excited to ride it. Like I was like, oh, it's autumn, it's so nice. But then, sure enough, it starts right after I buy it. It starts raining, and then it snows. Like right after, like it rained for a few days, so I couldn't really ride it. And then like there was snow, so I like. It's such a nice board, and like there's been so much construction in my area this year that I've just been reluctant to like take it out. So then I bought this Sector 9 board or whatever too, because like I got a great deal on it too, and I thought maybe like just because like the nice elaborate design of the koi board or whatever, and the thing that I enjoyed the design of this one too. So once again, I've been like reluctant to take on the gravels. I'm just kind of waiting, like they're kind of clearing it up or whatever, so I'm gonna be able to start riding them soon. Like fortunately this summer, like I had like, well, that's the other thing too, like it wasn't as much, like when I bought this boat, it wasn't as much of a hardship to walk as often as I have been, because because like some family were visiting, so they were giving me rides or whatever, which is nice and stuff. Use the stuff as motivators to like get this video done already. It's like, you can't have nice things until you let your subscribers know that you're not dead. And to the 111 of you that are still here, like I appreciate it so much. Like I guess Google kind of purged the system a little bit, so yeah, like I was obviously higher at one point, like closer to almost 150, I think. But yeah, like the fact that 111 of you are still patiently waiting is amazing, and I appreciate it so much. I'm sure you're not. I imagine most of you have been able to keep yourselves fairly preoccupied, and you're not like passing by the page every day because the views don't seem to be climbing quite that fast. But like on the other videos, but I do really appreciate it. And I'm very sorry. Like this was not a hiatus by any means per se, because like never was it ever intentional. Yeah. It's been just stressful. Like I've been so busy with work. Like I guess that's the thing. Like with the ancient exile and stuff or whatever. Like and just like the rough home situation and stuff. Like when like work's been getting worse. But like I've just kind of tried really hard to like make the most of work. Like and like that's kind of thing. It's kind of gone to a weird area or whatever. Like they terminated the general manager not too long ago or whatever. Like because he was embezzling and stuff. Yeah, like, oh, and a lot of things, like, it wasn't even just that, a lot of things were getting really bad, so, like, and then, like, things were supposed to get better, and they're not, like, his assistant, who is kind of, like, right in there with him, or whatever, it's actually my original manager, she rose up to that position eventually, but yeah, like, I don't know, it's really stressful, I kind of feel like I'm up against the wall in all sorts of ways, like, and actually I've got one more nice treat I bought myself to show you. Finally, I also, there's one last thing I bought in my shopping sprees. This ultra phenomenal umbrella! It's got a lifetime guarantee! Helpful for walking and with the rain and all that, you'd imagine, right? Yeah. Actually, it doesn't rain much, like I haven't really had to walk in the rain much, but still, it's nice to have. That's of course a misdirect though. There's one more thing. Beautiful Apple iMac! Unfortunately, while I did finally acquire my computer, right away there was already the problem with the room not being big enough at first or whatever, so like I was like reluctant. I wanted to set it up, but then the problem was when like my room was smaller, it was very much like Harry Potter in a lot of ways. My parents could suddenly go desolate and diabolical Dursley all over me. But so like I was nervous because it's a big expensive computer, right? So like I was, not to mention it was so like the room was so small, like the more I thought I was like, so then like he like as like a kind of like attempt at like a truce, we like decided to like he'd expand the room so that my stuff wouldn't be spilling out or whatever. And then like from there, like he did the room, which was really nice, but then like from there I like, at first I like, I mean, I made sure to keep my room, like, everything orderly enough within it, but like, it wasn't like, some of my clothes weren't always hung up, and or and just like, I didn't get a chance to organize my closet, as like, which was, I guess, like, the big stress. So like, I mean, it was still like, kind of like, I was like nervous to set it up, especially because like, since 2000, well, I mean, like, even before, but especially like, since I've disappeared, my parents regularly threaten to throw people out of the house sometimes. Mostly me. But yeah, so like, it's just, I've been like, I wasn't sure for the longest time if and even now I'm not really sure if I can keep it or if I'm gonna have to try and sell it for like its original value or not. Because I've got somebody that's interested in buying it, and if I do end up having to leave, I might have to sell. I don't know yet. So it's really sad and tragic because like I found like, I went and got it, and then yeah, it's too bad. Like, it's I don't know, because it's obviously going to be a lot easier to sell in the box than out, and not to mention it's safer in the box, right? Like, because no, we're not going to do the tour of the room right now, but there's some there's some there's some parts that don't look so nice anymore. Not because of disputes, Dursley style disputes. Desolate diabolical Dursley disputes. Actually, I don't even know if the Dursleys actually, for the most part, didn't get quite as violent. They were more just emotionally abusive. But yeah, still, there was the odd moment. So it's a shame, but I don't know. I've got to at least put this video out for for the sake of putting it to rest. Like, yeah. Yeah. It's just kind of hard, right? When you never really feel safe. Yeah. Oh well, alas. But at the same time, you don't really necessarily want to strike out, because I live in a sketchy city. I don't know. I imagine a lot of people, when they do, like, yeah, I guess it's like a rough part of life, but like, I always wanted to wait till I was in a better position, and I don't feel like I'm quite there yet. Oh well. That said, the next few days, it's hard to say what's gonna happen, so yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm still alive. I guess I don't know if it's really fair to say alive and well, per se. It's all relative, I guess. I'm not quite starving to death or anything, but yeah, not quite as happy or blissful a situation as one might hope. Yeah, so thanks for your patience, and take care. Farewell. Hey guys, so the production, so like, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, like the first time I tried to shoot like this video in like the current format was like September 11th, 2011, like, so like the 10th anniversary of 9/11, which is quite a while ago now. So that means it's officially spent over 2 years in production. Obviously not constantly dedicated production, but because I couldn't, like, I had like almost 0 days off in 2012. Like, I worked all the time. Like, I honestly, like, I don't know, I want to say for sure less than 50, and that it might even be like, generous or whatever for how many actually got off. But yeah, so, and then the start of 2013 was much like that too. I mean, with everything else, like with the loss of the car and everything, like, at first I tried to convince myself, maybe this can be a positive or whatever, like, or like, I could try and make the most of it, right? Because like, when I had the freedom of the car, like, you're tempted to like go and like as I mentioned, touched upon, overwhelmed or whatever, I like to try and make them and keep tabs on a lot, like maybe too many things or whatever. So like, sometimes I'd So I figured, like, you know, maybe if I don't have the car anymore, like, you know, I won't end up staying up too late or whatever, like, because, you know, sometimes you end up like, out way too late and, you know, try and help this friend or see this friend or visit this, or, like, see this or catch this or explore this or, you know, and then you wake up and you're tired, exhausted the next day. Like, not that's not necessarily worth it, but you know what I mean, like, I figured maybe, like, that would force me to take a step back or whatever, so it didn't feel so overwhelming all the time. Not really. It essentially just made everything harder to catch, so you felt like you were missing out on more, but still spending, almost making more effort, seeing as you couldn't drive anyway, trying to catch as much as you could. So it's been a very rough 2 years of production, and then I finally got finalized about a month ago, like just over a month ago now, like, and so it's been in post for over a month now. And I mean, like, not constant post either. It's not like I get to edit whenever I want. I'm still trying to use the laptops because the living situation is not improved enough that I'm comfortable setting up the iMac. Like, in fact, there was a bit of a catastrophic confrontation tonight that kind of blindsided me, and I'm extremely stressed out about. So that's why it's crucial that and vital that this gets uploaded and done already. This whole night, like... really, calls to mind Muse's Dead Star. Yeah, like, this whole night with the whole family fiascos really calls to mind Muse's Dead Star, or the chorus of it in here. Which is where, like, Matt Bellamy sings, like, tired of fighting. You're tired of, like... Granted, like, it also implies, like, the song implies about, like, there's the implication that you're fighting with yourself or whatever, like, you're fighting yourself or whatever, because, like, that's the last line of the chorus, in fact, like, you know, the chorus goes tired of fighting, and then, like, the last line is, like, tired of fighting yourself, and I don't feel like I'm fighting myself, but I am so tired of fighting. And then, yeah, among other things, like, calls to mind some Gob songs and some Rise Against songs. And anti-flag songs. And the classic Damn It. A day late, a buck short, I'm writing the report. And it'll happen once again, I'll turn to a friend, someone who understands and sees through the master plan. But everybody's gone and I've been here for too long to face this on my own. Well, I guess this is growing up. The Blink-182 song I also thought, yeah. Which is, of course, just... But yeah, that's more optimistic than the other quote that comes top to mind right now. The great Brand New. Die young and save yourself. Glory fades, guys. Glory fades. Oh my goodness. It's a great song. Sic Gloria Transit Gloria. Glory fades. Amazing. Damn, it's good too, but I'm pretty sure... Well, I mean, granted, a lot of people know Brand New too, but I'm pretty sure I'm not introducing anybody here to Blink-182, considering the tight grasp that they had on the 90s and the turn of the millennium music scene. Yeah, those songs made me feel... Well, actually, they made me really sad at first, but they made... I think it was cathartic. They made me feel a bit better. Because, like, nobody's obligated, nobody was obligated to watch it. If you did, thank you so much. Watch the whole thing, but, like... This is, like, for any supporter, like, of mine that wants to see this, like... It was a lot of ground to cover, so it makes sense. It's, like... But I mean, obviously this also shows why it never worked before, like, why, like, my, like, apocalypse, Mayan mass media misinterpreted Armageddon-esque apocalypse event shoot date didn't pan out because I had, like, about 2 hours left when I started shooting, and this video clearly totaled, like, I mean, like, post-production it totals over an hour. Like, and that's with, like, a bunch of yeah. So production didn't run anywhere near as smooth as I wanted it to. Like, I made a few missteps or whatever. Like I thought about reshooting, but, like, I'm already, like, so pressed for, like... And, like, let's say, like, the new camera, which was nice or whatever, but it, like, like, processes the video files as Apple files or whatever, optimized for QuickTime, so Windows can't operate, like, stupid Movie Maker can't operate with those for some reason. So, of course, this cheap Microsoft laptop that I only get to use very occasionally, I had to file convert all of them, and, like, they were massive files, because apparently QuickTime files are quite large on Microsoft in here, so I had to file convert them all, and like it kept trying to fail. And at first I had trouble transferring them over the wire. Like I tried to wire them at first, and it wasn't working because of the files. It was a nightmare. So I finally got all that ready, and I started doing the cutting or whatever, and like I thought about like trying to touch up some things, but like it just like and just it's always something. I was not feeling well all the time. For a while, I felt like I was losing my voice. I don't like shooting when like, seeing as I haven't seen you in forever, I wanna. Well, I mean like, and surprising like, and perhaps like like my videos have a fairly flawless complexion, like, or I mean, my videos or whatever, like it's like it's like when I like, because at one point I did put off filming because like I got slashed or like by like something random, like fell and like marked my face or whatever, so I didn't want to like have a giant mark, like, and then that was like back when like the video was in production, and then in post if I was gonna edit some of these shots, like I did get like a weird blemish like out of my face again, like from like so I was like, well, I don't want the video to do that, especially because yeah, like that's why I've managed to avoid blemishes in like all of my videos. So it's like, I don't want that to tarnish my return video. I know it's kind of trivial, but like, so it just seemed easier to like cut together like what I had or whatever. Like when they woke up or whatever, I made a few mistakes or whatever. Like, one of the like the harder sequences, like that made it so hard to shoot this, like because like the long shot part or whatever, like. I think that was the most authentic and easiest way to do the video, and like the best way, especially because I don't have time to script and do a jump cut video or whatever, because this is so much stuff. But especially because like I mean if I would put in all that work when I do with a bunch of time I don't have, like I could, like I don't know how much longer I'm even gonna be allowed to stay here, because my parents are going all diabolical desolate on me. Stop. Go back to your magic school. I wish. Anyway. But yeah, like, it's a nightmare. But yeah, with all like, but yeah, like, so I mean like the production totaled like that, like it took like with all the shots, but yeah, it made me make some missteps in some of the more complicated sequences, so I had to like do some weird cuts or whatever. So I apologize for that, like if some parts are choppy or whatever, but like yeah. When they woke up, I started rushing, and I accidentally didn't give enough pause for some of like the part where I did use jump cuts. I didn't give enough pause a few times because I was like rushing, because I didn't want them to like come downstairs, or I didn't want them to hear me, so I was or wake up. Like, But yes, for anybody that has been waiting for this video, I thank you so much, and I apologize for the wait. This absence is never something I wanted, like, and it was never intentional. Like this hectic havoc haze rages on, though I have no idea, like, so one of my viewers, Disaster Truck, told me not to promise more videos because it seems that leads to the opposite. So like, as much as like I like to hope that I will be able to shoot more soon and end this absence once and for all, I don't want to promise that because I don't want to give any false hope or broken promises. But it does mean everything to me, that for anyone that's still waiting, and like I appreciate your support. It means everything to me. So yeah. But yeah, this video is for any of you that did want to see all this and like wanted insight into this appalling, like atrocious absence that like was never like that I never wanted. And like it's partly for me too, like this is kind of like, it's kind of cathartic to just finally get this video out, I think. Super stressful, but like it'll make me feel better to at least finally upload this and at least have a bit of closure on the matter until I can finally come back in full force. Like, well, hopefully that'll be right away, but if not, yeah. So, sorry about the length for anybody that's on the tight schedule, but thank you so much for watching. It means everything to me. You guys are amazing. Take care. I wish you all well and wish you all the best. Perhaps some of you can wish me the same, because I think I need it right now. Thanks so much. Take care. I miss you, YouTube. Take care.